It's my pleasure to welcome you today at Club of Pioneers. We've been joined by Tal Catran, who will be interviewed today by our one and only Gosia. I would love to introduce her to you all. She has joined the School of Pioneers team this month. So she'll be contacting you. She's already reached out to most of you to invite you for this event. So I hope you will welcome her this month. And let me start to telling you a little bit about today's meeting, and then I will pass the floor to Gosia and Tal. Okay, so a little bit of housekeeping. Remember, guys, if you want to ask a question or you just want to say something, turn on your mic, turn on your camera so we can see you. Tal can meet you. It would be great, you know, to not pretend that we are just robots behind the camera. That's the first thing. And second thing, a little bit about today's meeting. We are starting with a bit of Q&A with Tal. So remember, you know, the usual drill with Pioneers, shoot the questions, as many as you got. We also prepared a little bit activity for you from what I know. So it's going to be pretty exciting. And then we'll moving on to mini pitch that is taking place between 5:15. Anya and Andrzej are already preparing for it, and Tal will be joining us as well to give you a bit of feedback, assess you, and then pick the winner. And later on, we will move on to 3 tables that we've prepared for you so we can still pretend that networking is possible in the era of COVID. And you will be joined there by me, Gosia, all of the pioneers. So stay as long as you want. We won't be shutting those tables, and I hope we'll get a little bit of fun today. So it's my pleasure to start this Club of Pioneers yet again virtually. I hope to see you again in real life soon as well. But in the meantime, I would love to pass the floor to Gosia and Tal. Gosia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Izabela. Hi, the pioneers. It is very nice to meet you all. And actually, I am very happy that I am meeting you in such meetings with Tal, who is our guest today. And as you all know by now, I'm sure Tal is a prominent figure in the global innovation ecosystem. Over the years, he conducted 60 cohorts, hosting near to 1,000 startups in his accelerators. His active involvement with hundreds of startups, accelerators, incubators, innovations hubs, and so on stretches from Israel, the startup nation, to Eastern Europe and Asia. Tal also serves as a board member in various companies and technology startups, mainly in cybersecurity and IT. Today's meeting is not about only me interviewing Tal. We want you all to get involved. We want you to ask questions that would be relevant to you. We want you to hit our guest. So to begin with, actually, I will start with a question to you guys. If you could please write in one sentence, what is the biggest challenge that you have encountered in Poland with your startup?
Guys, you can use the chat, or you can just say it out loud if you want to. What's the biggest encounter that you've been met with?
Okay, we will wait one more minute if you have more ideas. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Now, we would like you to offer us a solution. We would like you to tell us what would you recommend for the government or us to increase your chances to success. Yes, of course, I can repeat. We want you to put yourself in our shoes, to tell us what is your solution. If you could do anything, if you made a fairy tale, and that we could, magically make all of your dreams come true. What would you like us and the government possibly to do for you to increase your chances to success? Okay, great. Thank you very much for your input. That is very interesting to us, and I can assure you that we will make sure if we can do anything about that. Now, the reason we have asked you about this is not to introduce ourselves or Tal, our guest today, but we would like to have a background, a base to start our conversation. So Tal has come from Israel, from the Startup Nation, and some of you might have read The Startup Nation. It is a great book. If you didn't read that, if you haven't read that yet, I would recommend you to read this. It is very interesting, but luckily we do not have a war here. We do not serve as in a military. Luckily for now, we do not. But what connects us is surely the pandemic. We are all involved in health system. Some of the startups have put their input, and we need to deal with this. So the first question to Tal would be, what should startups emphasize on currently?
Oh, so my turn. So thank you very much for having me here, Basha, Izabela, all the guys from Pioneers. I'm sure we're going to have a great time. And I want you to, just before we begin, to use the chat to do something more. And that would be also to introduce yourself and interact between yourselves. It is traditionally used to ask the speaker questions. Now I'm telling you, use it now to introduce yourself. There is 50 people on board currently. Hopefully there will be more. So if you want anything or you need anything or you want to offer something, this is your time to use the chat for that, to have a large group looking at you. I will be sharing my details later also in the group. This is to begin. Second, for the question. So first of all, we are now in the day after. I'm doing this lecture for the past almost 6 months now, half a year. Actually, I began in April when we thought in Israel that we are over the first wave. How wrong were we? So we are now, by the way, after second wave. And from next week, everything is going to be open back again in Israel. Schools, restaurants, malls, everything is going to reopen after 1 month of lockdown, another month of coming little by little back to reality or to usual. But I can tell you in looking back is that this now is already the new normal. This is how we're going to live our life. For instance, events like this are going to go hybrid, and we are going to stick with this. Some of us, I would say even most of us, will not go back to office as we used to be. We will not be sitting 5 days in the office. We don't need. We have proven ourselves over the past year that we can do everything remotely. We have bettered the internet to 5G. We have launched light years ahead digital. Everything is now being done digital, not just ordering pizza. We order everything digital. We do everything remote. We have telemedicine remote, which now became a little bit better. I would not say we have better remote education. I think having yourself a laptop, a Wi-Fi, and a PowerPoint presentation is not remote learning. It's remote bullshit. And I think that all the parents, not in the audience, but like me, will agree that we are going nowhere with this. So I want to tell from the beginning to you all. First, you need to keep agile. If you ever heard the word agile, or you knew a startup that you need to pivot, to twist, to pivot, to change course, because you're a startup, you do it all the time. Now even more. Don't, if there are any startups between you who are saying, okay, so what was before Corona will come back because normality will come back. Forget about it. Ain't gonna happen. Sorry for the spoiler I'm doing for you now. Not gonna happen. The question is, are you gonna be there? Now, I'm guessing, Gosha, that my audience are startups, right? I mean,
Yes,
startuppers, entrepreneurs. Okay. And if you think about it, if you're a startup, for you, nothing really changed, because as a startup, you do one thing your entire life: survive. This is what you do. You are always in uncertainty, unclarity. It's very hard for you to raise the money. It's very hard to reach customers with a new product. Everything is difficult for you. And you know what? Now the entire humanity feels like startups feel. So for us, startuppers, nothing really changed. Yes, it's a little bit more difficult to sell when everyone is trying to cut on costs, on expenses. But aside from that, everything is as usual. And Gosha, I know you're going through the questions that people write, and you will remember to ask me, right? So I will answer as you ask me the question. So right now, my first suggestion to you guys is, number one, keep optimistic. Don't be despaired. Don't put your heads into the ground. It's not going to help. Look to in the face of Corona and see an opportunity and not a catastrophe, not a crisis. You know, many people tell me you do so many lectures when you go on stage. When I was before Corona, I used to be on stage all the time. And people ask me, I mean, do you get excited? And of course the answer is yes, I get excited, but I don't get excited because I think I'll forget my pitch, or someone will ask me a hard question I didn't know to answer. I'm excited because I'm giving people in the audience the opportunity to know me. I know when they hear me and listen to me, they will be more clever, they will be entertained. And by the way, remember this, you know, we are taught as startups to do presentation. Everything about us is a presentation. Well, you know, if you do a presentation, you are a presenter. In my words, a presenter is an actor. So you are actors. And just remember that when you spit your presentation at a potential investor or a potential customer or a potential corporation, that will not get you anywhere. You are not presenting to feel good about yourself. You are presenting because you have audience and you need to make them enjoy. You need to make them interested. Okay? So take those little things into your mind and think about it. It's a lot about awareness. By the way, everyone in the audience except for Gosha and Izabela, who already know me and we have spoken before, and they came all well dressed and makeup and all, not like me. You guys came unprepared because you are sitting now in the dark. I don't see you. I don't know who you are. What I want you to do is change. I want you to understand that the opportunity will not really fall into your lap. It could fall somewhere near you, but never to your lap. You will have to be proactive. You will need to do something. You have to make an action in order for this to happen. Gosha, I see you need to ask me something, so I will stop.
Yes, it might be due to November, the Polish November. It's a very dark season, and I wish we all were in Tel Aviv, at least got some summer. We could see each other in the sunlight. That would be much better. But yes, I'm very glad that you mentioned the new normal, and at least the new opportunities are that we can meet now. We don't need to fly to Tel Aviv, or we didn't have to have to ask you to fly to Warsaw. We wouldn't like to do that to you. November in Poland is not the best time to come. But yeah, you mentioned the new normal, the new opportunities. So how do you think, which tech clusters are the most affected by Corona, either in a bad way or maybe in a good way? You mentioned new opportunities, so maybe there is something in it.
First of all, Gosha, don't take the fact that there is Corona not to invite me over to Poland. It is still the responsibility of pioneers to invite me for the first time. But and I hope this will happen. Regarding opportunity. So listen, I saw someone here writing what about travel tech? Okay, so travel tech is dead. Sorry to spoil your fun. Yes, what do I mean by dead? It's not dead. It's dead. So last 2 weeks back, I was in Dubai. I was flying in an airplane. We were sitting, by the way, as usual. We just had masks. They even served food. So everything was the same. Duty free, they just opened a small kiosk, nothing more than that. So this was a bit bumming. So there is not much duty free, but actually everything else is the same. So when we speak tourism or we speak travel tech, we speak hotels and we speak restaurants and we speak renting cars and going to parks. And yes, it's a huge industry and it has suffered a big boom on the head. But I know to tell you that in each and every one of my current 6 accelerators running here in Israel, I always have travel tech startups, and they all twisted. So if they have an AI engine for hotels, so they change it towards retail. If they were dealing with, let's say, hotels, they change it from hotel to buildings, apartment buildings. They had some. So it's all about being able now to adapt to what we have right now. Forget how it's called, new normal, Corona, COVID. Who cares? In the end, it's about results. And if you face the opportunity that COVID brought, everything, as we said, regarding remote. So if you are an ed tech or ed tech, in both cases, the E and A of tech. So you can now have a lot of opportunities to bring new solutions to the market. If everything is being done, let's say, ordered remote, it's also paid remote. Fintech is huge. Cyber. So we know right now we're all working remote using VPNs, and this is a heaven for hackers. So we know if you have something to do with that, bring it over. Again, we said remote, robots. Now we see robots are getting more and more into our lives, as in, let's say, a reception in hotels, reception in hospitals. Why do we need a human when you can speak to a robot? We see drones everywhere, bringing things, taking things, the last mile used by drones. All this was now pushed ahead light years. And the question is, who is taking the advantage of it? If you are not, just rest assured someone else does. I ask many times startups, do you have a competition? And some startups, for some reason, think no. And they say, I don't have a competition. Newsflash for you, you all have competition, you just didn't find it. And those of you who search for the competition and didn't find it, and the only answer you have for me, yes, well, the closest that competition I have is Facebook, is Google, I have newsflash for you. You are no competition for Facebook, nor are you a competition for Twitter, nor for Google, nor for Intel. You are not even a little dot on the floor that they don't see with the Hubble telescope. You're nothing. What you do need to realize is who you are. This is very important. Go ahead, Gosha.
I saw one more question about the office space. What is the future of the office spaces?
Office spaces, I think, again, is very clear, not because of me, it's because announcements of Twitter, announcement of Microsoft. And it's not just the fact about the office. It's the fact that, and tell me, you can answer and tell me if I'm right or wrong, but most people I talk to actually say, we work much harder from home. Really, we work much harder from home. Second, we don't have to swipe our card anymore. So it's not about how many hours we work, but what is the delivery? What is the outcome? So all of a sudden, we have started working according to KPIs. And if you are an employer, believe me, you want to keep your employees at home right now. Maybe now they don't want it so much. So we see that during the corona, there has been an ongoing research, and it has shown different results in the first wave. Second wave had changed. It was very successful on the side of the employers to keep the employees at home because research showed very good productivity. Now, second wave, it was reduced. So I think we are going hybrid. It's going to be maybe 2-3 days in the office and the rest at home, or the other way around. But for sure, people now will get more choices. We will be given the opportunity to choose, the option to choose if we want to stay home or we want to work from office or we don't. And of course, this affects the size of the office. This affects co-working that are there currently. And by the way, you know, think about the good side. The more co-working are now being freed, maybe they will change from office to apartments. And then the prices of apartments, for instance, in Tel Aviv, 3-bedroom apartment cost €1 million will be reduced. So maybe something good. So in every bed, there is some good. It's only the way you look at it.
Reducing a price, apartments price in Tel Aviv, that would be a really great news.
Yeah, Gosha, you know, you've been here.
Yeah, I've been here, and I know that the $1 million would be enough for like 3 weeks in Tel Aviv. And also, I see in the chat that we have quite divided opinions about remote work. We have a remote work team versus offline work team. And I see we also have Las Palmas with us. That's really great. I'm very jealous about that. So yeah, maybe the next question would be, can we still raise funds or deploy MVPs? How do you think?
So let's separate between the questions. The one is in regarding to the MVPs. So first of all, you need to have an MVP. So let's take a step back. So, you know, one of the major things I do in my accelerators is work a lot on the problem and solution. And I don't think that startups give it enough attention, understanding, are they focused enough in their problem and solution. I want to help here and say, you are a startup. You have so many challenges. You have so much on your head, so much responsibility. First of all, you need to keep a day job because you don't get any money from your startup. Then you have a team, and you can pay your team with probably beer and pizza and maybe kisses and hugs. But this doesn't help much. So take into consideration everything is so tough for you. This is why a startup can have a one problem and a one solution. The fact that the problem that you thought about as also this is not relevant. The fact that your solution solves the problem, but another 5 other problems is not relevant. One and one. When you do that, you need to be very clear on your target market. And as you all know, we have customers and we have users. The only difference that we all know is that users don't pay. Customers pay. And when you present your problem and solution, you need to know who are you presenting to. Are you presenting to a customer Or are you presenting to a user? Or are you presenting to an investor? You need to be very clear. So this is how you need to start. Figure this out before you do anything. Then go quickly with your tech team, hopefully the second person beside you in the startup, because you don't need more. Let's be clear. There is a founder, CEO, usually a person with a vision, knows nothing about technology, and his partner, the tech guy, the geek. He knows how to develop. You don't need more. 3 is a crowd, 4 not relevant. Why 2? Again, your investor, okay, would prefer to invest when he has something we call redundancy. It's not just you. If you die, then he has nothing. He needs a second person. This is how you build your startup. You need to develop an MVP really, really quick. It will not be 100%. It will not be even 50%. It will be a little bit baked, as we say, cooked enough to go out. I see the apartment is very interesting, what's going on in Tel Aviv here. So you need to go out and do something we call validation. Before you do validation, you don't do anything. You don't even start writing the first word in your business plan. Otherwise, it's a fairy tale, it's science fiction, it's a bunch of book of lies. It's not relevant. Validate. Once you validate, you go to an investor. This is the first time you have any reason to say to someone, investors, like you call them also angel investors, right?
Yeah.
Why do we call them angel investors? Have you ever seen an angel? Right, you haven't. So they are called angels. It's very difficult to find them. This is why when you reach out to this investor, it's the first time that you can tell him, so I have a team, I have gone over problem and solution, did some lean startup and market survey, I've developed an MVP, I have validated my MVP, now I can show you in real my users' metrics. Then it's the only chance for you to start to pray, to hope, to get a little bit of money. Before that is a waste of time. Not because you don't have much and the investor taking a huge risk will take all your equity, okay? That's not the reason. It's the reason that you need to be sure about yourself that this is what you're doing is something that is needed. Don't think startups are first of all technology, startups are first of all people. And second, it's not about the competition of raising funds. It's about you deciding that this is your job for the coming years. This startup is your job. You need to take a salary from your job. This is how we build a startup. Not like you think right now, a few months and I will do an exit. Ain't gonna happen. 96% of startups fail first year, 96%. So first of all, enjoy the ride. Second of all, listen to experience. I know it's tough. I know it's maybe not what you thought, but better listen and then take a decision and then do it the other way. Yes, Kosha.
I see we have one question. Can we join your accelerator remotely without buying an apartment in Tel Aviv?
Absolutely not. No, you don't need to buy an apartment in Tel Aviv. And yes, you can join my accelerators, the one which are open global. And sadly, I don't have any. My accelerators running in Israel are in Israel. But now, as you said, we are pivoting. So yes, I am planning for the beginning of next year, in a few, like 2-3 months, to have an international program where I will welcome startups from all over the world to join the first cohort. And I'll be delighted to offer the people here from Pioneers to look it up. By the way, don't waste time. You can look at my website, talcatran.com. You can see my YouTube channel and hear some more. And just believe me, if any of you, if you reach out to me, I will answer you regardless, okay? I'm a person like you. I enjoy investing my time in helping startups. This is what I do. I do it for thousands of startups worldwide. I would love to do it for you as well.
I can assure you about that. Actually, I reached out to Tal. I didn't know him before. I just looked for somebody who would be great for you guys to meet on this Club of Pioneers. And he answered right away. We made a meeting, so here we are. We will leave a contact to Tal. Tal will leave contact to him on the chat, and then we will share his contact via
just
email.
put it in the chat right now. You have all my details, all my links are here.
Yeah. Okay, so let's skip to next questions because we actually have a couple of them. So we have a question: what is the future for Israeli startup ecosystem? What kind of technologies are on top right now? And then we have one following question, but first I will let you answer this.
So I'm glad that there are people here concerned about the Israeli ecosystem. Thank you for that. Let me assure you, we are doing very well. I can tell you numbers, for instance, from September. So Israeli startups during September raised $1.2 billion. Now, I know you're all saying, only 1.2 billion. I know it was a weak month for us because half of it was holiday. So we worked only for 2 weeks. I'm sorry for that. Usually we raise a lot of money. Just understand, what we raise is 1.2 billion. Please look it up. You don't raise it in zloty the entire year in Poland. So yes, there is something unique about Israeli startups. If you want, if someone will ask, I will share more about why are we doing so well. Trends right now are very related to Corona. So we see a lot in many of the aspects I've mentioned, which are cyber, fintech, but we see also a lot coming in medical, also agrotech, food tech, clean tech, now a lot in industry 4.0. We see a lot smart cities. I think if we put aside really the travel tech, I think aside from, and by the way, also the travel tech community in Israel, numbering about 400 startups. I know many are not doing so, but you know, they are relentless. They will find a way. Numbers of our ecosystem, we have over 8,000 registered startups in Israel. When I say registered, I don't mean the ones who are Bootstrap at home. I mean the ones that are actually registered. And just know this, Israeli startups during 2018 and 2019 have done exits of 20 and 30 billion dollars. That's the total amount. We had 2019, we have over 1,124, I think, exits in total. Listen to the number of startups acquired in Israel in 1 year. And yes, you should ask yourself, so if I move to Israel, would that happen to me? Of course not. The chances are bigger, but it's about who you are. The fact is that the ecosystem around the startups, the supporting ecosystem of angel investors, of VCs, you know, in Israel, we have 250 accelerators. Wherever you turn, not just in Tel Aviv, all over the country. So if you are living in the periphery, for instance, in Poland, if you don't live in Warsaw, most probably your chances are getting smaller because you're not in the center of everything. In Israel, it's the same with Tel Aviv. But we are trying to support. Our government, I think maybe like yours, is giving a lot of funding, but in a different way. Just understand that if you come to Israel, which sounds to you so good because of the sun and all this, yes, and the beach and all, but understand that you are getting into a competition with another 8,000 like you. Do you think you're ready for such a and it's Israeli competition? Okay, we don't fight nice. We fight with everything we have. And this is very important. So when you are pushed all the time to excel, when you are pushed to do your best, when you are always available and relevant to the market, this is something I really strongly believe that you can get by visiting us like Gosha did for a short time, but definitely then work with us. So this is what I'm offering. Work with us. By the way, I see only 8 people invited me on LinkedIn so far. So are you asleep or something, or I'm not getting through to you guys? There should be 40 people now inviting me. Yes, Gosha, go ahead.
Yeah, I see some people, someone just wrote that she or he did invite you on LinkedIn. So yeah, I encourage you guys all to do. Tal shares very interesting content on his social media, and he's very responsive as well. And I also encourage you to put more questions in the chat or use the raise hand and ask Tal yourself. But we have one more question, the follow-up question. What are the worldwide trends in deep tech, especially with regard to hardware technologies right now?
So, you know, hardware is something that when we speak about startups is always pushed aside, okay? I can tell you now that if you are into the blockchain or to the crypto, for instance, so speaking about hardware, about computers, about mining power, this is a building thing. You know, we all spoke about crypto in a kind of a suspicious way. But I think right now crypto has passed the 18,000, the Bitcoin has passed the 18. I'm updated 2 days back. I don't know, maybe. But the interesting part now is is that also JP Morgan Bank that was against the crypto, against the Bitcoin, changed, is now looking into the Bitcoin. So we understand. And again, it's not something that you will go, wow, I'm shocked. Yes, the digital now, due to Corona, due to remote, remote everything. And so there is no other way for us to communicate. And especially if you want to do transactions or you want to keep your money somewhere. So think, if you are, and don't think Poland, think about third world countries where the money is paid in cash, like the $20 per month, I don't, maybe 100, I don't know. There's no way to take the, as we say, fiat, the real money, and get it into your phone like this. It needs to be in your phone. And if the money is not in your phone, you can buy anything because you need to use the app for that. So you see that fintech, okay? But when we say fintech, when we say all those words about computers, we see, for instance, G5, or we see the VPN. You know, VPN is something that we all use to work from home, to connect to our company, right? Through VPN. But VPN was never designed to support 100% of the workers. It was supposed to maximum maybe 10%, maybe 20%, but not 100% of your hundreds of workers to be on the same VPN. All this creates difficulties. All this creates the need of development. We say drones, so someone need to develop the drone, okay? When again, so the needs are, I think, now becoming more and more clear. I'm not sure that we are acting quick enough to support with the hardware. I think people are not looking deep enough into the hardware, where I think they should. I like the question. I think this is something that needs to be discussed more, Gosha. I can't, Gosha, I can't hear you.
Gosha, you're muted.
Oh.
Sorry. Okay, yes, I agree that we should speak about it much more. Yeah, actually, I would like to ask you, what was your incentive to get involved in the innovation ecosystem? What did you see in that place, in that market?
First of all, to someone who wrote that you need to listen to the speaker, I think, is it a man or a woman? I can't know from the name.
That's a woman.
Exactly. And this is, I thought it is a woman. This is why I thought it is weird, because, you know, we men, we can do one thing at a time. Or type, listen, you are women, you can do 10 things at the same time. Listen to me and go on social networks. So what was my incentive? My incentive was first of all, interest in people. And I always say it, not for some reason. People, when you tell them startups, they think technology. They will immediately ask you about the technology. Startups are people. And startup business is about people. It's people that come up with an idea, that develop, that manufacture. People are the one who invest in startups. Investors are people. People are the one using what startups invent, being people. So it's all about people. So the first thing that interested me is people. Second, it really interested me why people will choose such a risky job of having a startup. If you have only 4% of success, why did you decide to come up with a startup and not go to push papers in an office working for someone? And you know what people answer? They say to me, well, I didn't want to have a boss. I want to be the boss of myself. I wanted to enjoy the fruits of my work. So let me tell you, the first time you took $1 from someone, you're working for him right now. So all you brave guys and women telling me, yeah, I want to be my own boss. The first time you raise $1 from an investor or from someone, you now report to him. He's taking decisions with you. So maybe you thought this is how it will start. Probably you thought, I have a great idea. How did you validate your idea? Probably you went to your parents and asked them, hey, what do you think about my idea? So what do you think your mom will tell you? You're stupid. He says, you're a genius. What a great idea. Then you went to your friends and asked your friends, hey, what do you think about my idea? What do you think your friends will tell you? They don't want to be your friends because of the idea? Of course they will say, go ahead. But did you go to people, not anyone, people that the problem that you are trying to solve is relevant for them, and you talked to them about your solution? And now, before you ask me, so Tal, if I tell my idea to someone, he will steal it from me. This happened only in the movie Facebook. And I'm not sure even in the movie it was true. No one will steal anything from you. Why? You ask, if someone will ask, I will explain how to do it in a way that no one will steal from you. And just remember, when you speak to someone, someone says to you, tell me about your startup, and you immediately speak about the solution. How about saying the next time someone asks you about your startup, you saying, so this is the problem that I want to solve. Maybe the person will tell you, well, you know, honestly, you're a nice guy or you're a nice lady, but this problem is not relevant for me. Thank you so much. Go away. Part. Bye. Enough. Why do you tell a total stranger the solution when it's not relevant for him? So please start with the problem. Then if it's interesting, go to the solution. On the solution, you can speak about what you do. You don't need to speak about the how to do it, not the inside, the what. And just remember, 99.9% of you don't have any provisional. You have nothing but the IP of the idea, okay? So for me, it was the interest in people, and of course, the interest in technology, and for some reason, the ability to invest. So when you take all this together, it was very interesting for me. So I started giving money to startups. And you know what? I quickly realized I have no clue how to do it. But there is no school for startups. There is no school to be a mentor. There is no school to run an accelerator. Why is it? I don't know. I mean, you need to learn a few years to become a lawyer, a doctor, a driver, a teacher. Why don't you need a few years to learn how to become an entrepreneur or how to become a startupper? Well, I think you should learn. And the school is called an accelerator or a hub or an incubator. Any way you get education that will help you to materialize the potential within you, which starts with an idea, then with a team, then with technology. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, I think you did. And actually, that's what we are trying to do here at the School of Pioneers. That's our goal. We are trying to connect people, to bring them some new ideas, new solutions, and hopefully new skills. We have a question, what are the most important skills in the founding team? That might be a good clue for us as well.
So first of all, as we said, the founding team is usually, I would say 1 to 2, but I want to say team, so at least 2. We don't need more. 1 is the person which we call the CEO, okay? The guy in charge. What is he in charge of? Well, he's probably not in charge of managing his partner, because his partner doesn't listen to him anyway, and it's just you two. But you are in charge as the CEO to deal with the marketing. Marketing, I mean, not do marketing because you don't have anything to market, but yes, to prepare the materials, yes, to raise the money, yes, to make a work plan, yes, to make sure that you go along with the work plan, yes, be able to take hard decisions, yes, to bear the responsibility of being the manager, and on the other hand, the CTO. We call it CTO. Of course, it's not a CTO according to high-tech companies. It's a person who knows to program. Let's call him like this, okay? Hopefully full stack, hopefully hybrid, hopefully knows iOS and Android. Maybe he knows a little bit of design, maybe some UX, some UI. He's an all-around person. He knows a little bit of everything. That's your partner to begin with. You are both holding your day jobs, praying to God that something good will happen. Probably, sorry to tell you, nothing good will happen, only bad will happen. You will fight, you will not reach your goals. Your CTO will not deliver the ad that he promised you. You will not raise the money that you promised him, and you are going nowhere. Sorry to tell you again, that's the story with most startups. We need to say it how it is, but sometimes with the help of programs like Pioneers, with the help of the mentors. Again, it's not about the name of the program, and it's not about the money. Just think for a second. Why are we all raising money for the startup? What? Are we taking a bigger salary? No. Hopefully you're taking some, but we are not taking the salary, okay? So what do we do with the money? Do we go and buy a big car? No. We might be driving bicycle. Maybe we are riding bicycle in the good case. So why are we raising the money? To get to pay to workers. This is what you do with the money. This is what you do with the money. So if someone comes to you and say, I want to be your partner and I want to work with you, I just want part of the equity, go ahead. Just know the person. Don't give the equity from the beginning. Just know the person and work with him. But just remember, every time that you wake up and someone tells you, you need to raise the money, ask yourself, why do I need to raise the money? Is it to hire people? Yes, the answer is yes. 90%, 85 to 90% of the money you will ever raise in your life will be to pay salaries. This is how it is. If you are capable of making a team without the money, then don't raise money. Keep the company for yourself. Hopefully you will be successful. Hopefully holding all the equity or most of it will make you a millionaire or a billionaire with the help of God and luck and whatever. Be ready to take the tough decision. Also to say enough is enough. Enough is enough. You don't sell your life for that. You don't break your home for that. Divorce for that. Leave your friends. Forget who you... No, you are not selling your soul to the devil, as we say. Don't exaggerate. Startups are nice, but startups are not for everyone. Not everyone is a doctor. Not everyone is a pilot. Not everyone has a startup. It's okay. You are not a loser for not having a startup. Maybe in Israel you are, but in your country you're not. Okay? In Israel, it's like your mother will say, hey, why don't you have a startup? Like the next door neighbor, the son has a startup, and she tells me about it all the time. And he's so clever. What's wrong with you? Be clever, have a startup. But this is in Israel. It's not like this. Probably in Poland, if you go to your parents and say, hey, mom and dad, I have a great idea for a startup, the answer will be, start up, smart up, get a real job. So lucky for you, you're not expected to have a startup. Take a deep breath, but go ahead and try. I believe that everyone should have the opportunity to try, because startup, in my eyes, everything is good about them. Everything that you will relate to a startup is good. you are creative, independent, all around, persistent, I said creative already, hardworking, you take chances, you take chances, you take chances every day having a startup. I think this is good. Last thing, in Israel, if you go to an investor, the second or third question will be, have you failed before? Tell me about the failure. And you go, I never failed. He says, thank you. Go fail somewhere else. Come back to me after you failed. Statistically, you will fail with my money. So go fail. Failure is a major, major step for success. You need to fail, not on purpose. Don't come to him and he says to you, did you fail? I said, yes, all about failure. Now to give me the money. It will not happen. Be realistic here, okay? But go out and try it. Yes,
thank you, Tal. That is very interesting. Thank you very much for your input. And I see in the chat that the pioneers are agreeing with you. Actually, we do have a couple of questions. We have passed the time, and I see we have reached the point of hitting our expert. So I will put two direct questions that if you could answer in 1 or 2 sentences. The first one would be, should you bootstrap in the beginning or get seed funding as soon as possible?
Again, sorry, ask again.
Should you bootstrap in the beginning or get seed funding as soon as possible?
My answer is like this. I think you should go bootstrap as much as you can all the way, even after you raise the funding. Keep being bootstrap. It is so easy to spend the money. You know, I never heard about anyone raising funds that did not find how to spend the money. Money always disappears. And what seems to you now like a huge ton of money, yeah, I'm going to raise $500,000. Before you do Archie or Chiching, the money is gone. This is how it is. So validate, go bootstrap all the way. There is no option, no other option. You are staying bootstrap all the way until you think something changed. This is first. Second, delay as much as possible raising funds. The logic behind it is very simple. The more baked, the more ready you are when you turn to investment. The more assets you have, the more experience, the more traction you have, you will raise more money and give less equity. This is the game. Remember, when you go to raise funds, 2 things happen. You give equity, you receive money. That's the name of the game. But when you look at it and you say to the investor, I'm giving you my blood, my tears, my baby, from the side of the investor, he just invested in a chair, in a table. For him, it's a product. You are not what you think you are. Just know to speak in the same language. It's not all about you. It's always about who is listening to you, who you're talking to.
Okay, I will shoot 2 more questions. And then I encourage you guys to reach out to Tal on LinkedIn or Facebook or WhatsApp, whatever you like. And then we move to the mini pitch. So what is, in your opinion, the right motivation to create a startup to have the highest chance to success? 1 or 2 sentences.
First of all, the motivation is the fact that you are crazy people. Maybe just that. I think startup people have something here wrong in the box. After everything I explained to you, I don't get why you want to have a startup. So you need to understand. What is the motivation? I think the motivation is the fact that you dream to be a millionaire, and this sounds like the fast track to do that, and I'm 100% with you. Let's be billionaires.
Okay, thanks. The next one is how to approach the question of pivoting your business model after pandemia, for example, in creative industries.
Oof. I need 2 hours for this.
I know, that is $1 million question.
Business modeling is exactly right on the spot, the $1 billion question. Business modeling is something that you need to adjust like everything else in a startup. I really can't know where to start. This I will need a separate session speaking. By the way, separate session speaking only about business model for startups. It's a session. By the way, with me, it's given in a 3-hour lecture and a workshop and an exercise about business modeling.
Okay.
So we keep it for next time.
Okay, and the last one, and also another billion-dollar question is, what is your opinion on Bitcoin development in 10 following years?
Oof, I just read the news same as you guys. I can tell you I came from back from Dubai. I saw a company dealing with mining Bitcoin, and this company within nothing time, I don't know how the company is very, very young, already doing $100 million turnover. So and you know, DeFi, I don't know, the DeFi, the people who are here into crypto, I invite you to listen to a panel between me and another person from a fund in the UAE. He was with me, his name is Saeed, and we did an entire 1-hour talk about a month ago. Please look it up on my YouTube and you will get all the answers for Bitcoin. We answered everything there. Look it up.
Okay, we will. I'm sure we all will. Thank you very much, Tal. It was very interesting to talk to you. And as I said, I encourage you guys to reach out to Tal. And I'm sure it is not our last meeting. We will see you again, and hopefully we will have more chances to cooperate. Now I give the floor to Izabela, and I will let you see our team speaking. Thank you very much.
Hey guys, I'm back. It was great to listen to the discussion. I mean, it's so cool to hear that the things that we are doing in School of Pioneers are kind of right, actually. And it was great to read your questions, so insightful. But now we are hungry for blood. So that's why we are moving to the mini pitch. Tal, I hope you're as excited after our Q&A sesh. I guess ladies first. So I would like to first invite Anya to join us for her pitch, and later
Hello, everyone.
She will be followed by Andrzej. Anya, are you with us? I guess I've heard you.
Yes, hello, everyone. I'm here. Can you hear me? Please
yes,
confirm.
we can't see you yet, though.
Okay. Just a second, please. I also need to share the screen.
Yeah, sure.
Izabela, what's the concept now? I listen to the pitch. I need to say anything. They need me to say anything.
I'm just checking if Anya is okay. So let me introduce you to all the rules, and I will remind them to the pioneers. So we've invited 2 people who signed up for the mini pitch to pitch for 2 minutes. Then for 2 minutes, we will be asking them questions, kind of inquire about the idea, about the project startup. And then we will move on to around 5-10 minute feedback, so they will learn from the mini pitch as well. And then it will be followed by the second person. Again, 3 minutes pitching, 2 minutes questions, 5-10 minutes feedback. And later on, we will decide which of them is winning, as if I'm remembering correctly, you've promised to meet them later on for our mentoring sessions.
Yes. The winner will be the one giving me the bigger portion of what he gets from you. I don't know.
Exactly. And the idea is, guys, for you to get involved as well. So it's not only me and Tal asking questions, but as usual, you know, the knowledge of the crowd, we believe, is going to be extra input as well, to remember to join us in giving them feedback, shooting questions, and trying to help out Anya and Andrzej to develop their projects. So I hope you will be super active. For sure, me and Tal are going to laser focus on their pitches and trying to give them the best feedback possible. And Anya, the floor is yours. Is everything okay with you?
Yes. Isa, can you confirm that you can see my screen?
We can't see your screen yet, though.
Izabela, you want to try with the second startup?
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Oh, I guess Anya is working now. Yeah, perfect. Anya, I can see your screen. It will be great to see your presentation right now.
Do you see your screen? I don't.
I guess we just need a second, maybe.
Yeah,
guys? Yeah, perfect.
You
Like,
see the
I don't see
presentation already, okay?
No, I don't. Now I see the presentation. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, just another thing, I'm not sure about actually, being able to show myself, because I already think I've got very bad connection. That means that if I probably present myself, I might be disconnected.
Got it.
So maybe, if that's okay with you, for the sake of the questions, I will show myself, so that I don't present them.
Let's go.
Okay, so guys, let me start. So hello everyone, my name is Anya, and with the Eco team we have developed the web application dedicated to the city communities. How does the application help them? Thanks to the application, the city communities do not throw away their money, but instead they save it, and it goes towards the common well-being of the people who live there. The amount of garbage that we produce increases each day. Of course, it impacts negatively the nature and the bioenvironment. That is why the European Union has implemented legal provisions that require the recycling procedures to be undertaken. Who is responsible for that in Poland? It is the city. Right now, the waste recycling threshold is set to 40%. But next year, they will have to recycle 50% of garbage, and in 2035, it will be already 65%. Why is this a problem for the city communities? Each kilogram of garbage is a cost. It costs more when the garbage is not segregated properly and put into the incorrect fraction. So, for example, an average city commune with 100,000 people spends almost 700,000 euro per year on garbage because people like me or like you are not bothered to segregate the garbage in our own houses. And our economy app is here to help the city community. We have won the Microsoft Hackathon, and city communities we have had discussions with just love our solution. How does the application work? You scan the garbage and it tells you where to throw away the garbage. Hazardous waste, we also have it covered. You also get the information on the carbon footprint. You know how you impact the environment. You also receive the eco tips so that you know what to do to protect the environment. And for all the activities that you do, you get bonus points. The application also teaches that waste can be easily reused and recycle can be a real benefit for the city and its local community. It means no more problems with recycling. Is this a win-win? Yes, of course. The city community wins because they pay for garbage disposal and they fulfill the European Union norms. But also the local people win because they earn eco-dollars that are convertible into the discounts and access to the local activities provided by the city, such as a swimming pool. Who pays us? The city council pays us. They pay a one-off fee for the implementation, and they also pay us the annual fee for the maintenance. And of course, there's the competition. But it seems that we're the only ones who actually have come up with the plan how to actively engage the average Janusz and Dreszna into the garbage segregation. In Poland, we have almost 2,500 city communities, so the market is over 440 million euros. We are all eco-freaks, and it is very fun for us to work on the solution. Marketing, copy, ideas, coding, and sales, we have it all covered. So if the idea is worth 1 zloty, our team has the chance to be the unicorn from the waste created. We would love to see how the same problems are solved in other countries. So if you want to be on a great team, welcome, and we humbly appreciate your mentoring for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Anya. Tal, do you have any questions?
Wait, Anya. Anya.
Yes,
Hello.
I'm here.
You're here?
Yeah.
Now can I see you without the presentation, or I need the presentation?
Let's see. Just a second. Just a second. Oh, because I've got very bad connection.
Okay. Anya, everything is okay. Listen. First of all, I like your presentation. It sounds like this is something that is burning inside of you. You spoke with a lot of motivation and a lot of passion and conviction, and every word ending with shen, you did them all, okay? On that part. That said, this is the part that I say of awareness. You understand that the connection is not that good, so I would expect you to speak slower, more clear, and because of the bad connection, to stop and say, are you with me? Did you understand what I'm saying? What I'm wanting to tell is please change the way that you thought about presentation, competition on speaking 3 minutes and showing me all your slides into maybe showing me less slides and just making sure I understand the problem and the solution, which I did not understand in the beginning. Okay, I did not understand because I was waiting, as I explained, for you to start with the problem, making sure I understand the problem, and then say, okay, let's speak about the solution. Because if you think about it for a minute, if I don't understand, and this I'm saying to everyone in the audience, when investors, when customers, it doesn't matter whom, does not understand and gets the emotional connection with the problem and solution, what you are saying after, they don't hear, they don't care, is a waste of time. Get the people that you speak to on board. Even dare to have a small question and discussion with them. Not in a pitch presentation like this, of course. Because
okay.
Wait. I want to say
one word.
And just a second. What I want to say to all of you is that in real life, you don't raise money like this. You understand it, right? But this is a kind of a concept that in every program we do. In reality, you will be sitting in a room with an investor, having at least an hour, maybe 2 hours, to speak slowly, to introduce yourself. But the concept is what we are showing you right now. You need to follow it, but you need to follow it in a smart way. It's not about spitting the presentation. It's about leaving an impact in a very short time of 3 minutes. Go ahead, Anya.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that, in these pitches, we are, only allowed 3 minutes. So I just wanted to make sure that I've covered everything, especially the team. But yes, I would expect, like you say, in a regular one-to-one meeting.
Anya,
definitely.
Anya, be with me. Listen to me. Relax. Listen to me. If I were you, okay, from your side, and Izabela told me, Tal, you have 3 minutes, and then there will be 5 minutes of question. You know what I would do? I will speak for 3 minutes about problem and solution. And when question come and Izabela says, what is your business model? I said, good question, thank you. And then I will answer about the business model. No one told you that in 3 minutes you need to say everything. They just told you have 3 minutes. Think outside of the box. Don't be square. You are a startup. You are not a business. You're not a usual person. Be smart. When someone tells you there will be time for questions, leave some of the presentation for the questions. You will not be disqualified. This is not this kind of competition. Every option is right. Every answer you will say is right. Maybe not right for the person asking, but it is the right answer. So I'm saying again, be smart. When someone tells you 3 minutes, he will not cut off your head or disconnect you after 3 minutes. He would like to tell you that the square is at 3 minutes. We stop at 3 minutes. Don't be like this. Don't be squared. You are a startup. Be creative. Think outside of the box, and you will reach it. Now to say to the content, we need to push ahead. I was searching more to understand, for instance, what is your added value? You said we have competition. And when you mentioned competition, there was a slide with a lot of logos. It didn't tell me anything, the fact that you have competition. I was searching, I was waiting for you to say, what, now you see the competition? I'm not hiding for you. I just want to tell you what we do different. We don't do better. We don't want to downsize anyone, but we want to say what we do different. Hopefully, it's also better, but different. This I did not hear. Next, you spoke about your target market. Like, what's the size of the community that you are searching for? You said that 2,000 community, blah, blah, blah. Again, I'm not impressed. Why? You didn't tell me how you intend to reach your first customer, your first community. This will impress me more. Not the fact that there are a lot, but how am I reaching that a lot? How smart I am to do it. I did not hear if I'm a B2B. I understand that you're a B2B, okay? But again, it needs to make sense. This is not a competition in speed talking. This is how, in a very short period of time, I bring the essence of the problem, the solution, and the opportunity for me to tell you, Anya, you really interested me. This is my card. Give me a call tomorrow. By the way, when investors tell you they want you to call them tomorrow, they don't mean tomorrow. They mean 3 weeks from tomorrow, okay? Again, understand how this works. You are a different breed of people, startups, okay? But you need to understand people are not like you, usually, okay? Again, I understand the need. I think it's a very relevant need. I'm very glad to hear. Did you mention the status of the technology, where you at right now?
No.
Where are you right now? I mean, what stage?
Sorry?
What stage? Did you start developing it?
We've got the MVP pretty much ready, and we did speak to 6 communities already. We haven't got the first sale yet.
Okay, you see, this, Anya, is very, very important. The fact that you have done progress, the fact that you have reached almost an MVP, the fact that you are speaking to communities, and you can share with the investor, not just the fact that you spoke to them, but also share some feedback from them. So not just, yeah, they were so happy, they hugged us and kissed us, and say, yes, we have encountered several challenges, and the reason our MVP is not ready is exactly the feedback from the community. Now think how impressed I am with you. I said, wow, she actually moved on. They reached the market. They got feedback. They are building the MVP with the feedback at real time. This is smart, Anya. This is how you do it. And you do it. So put this out. Impress me with this. Know how quick you speak.
Yeah, I would actually add, because I took a note of that, you spend exactly 50% of your time explaining the problem, more or less in detail. Like in some places, I really knew what you were talking about, and in some, I was like, where is it actually going to? And you spend the remaining 50% of the time talking about everything else. So it's kind of the matter of prioritizing what's really important. You've mentioned that you really wanted to talk about the team, so why not to put it a bit forward? Like, these amazing people who are so good at this, and this came up with this solution, and they actually developed it up to the level of MVP. It would be really great, you know, to even change the order of that. I know kind of like the rule of thumb is put the team at the end, you know, kind of as a signing bonus. But, you know, if it's so important to you, just put it a bit earlier in the presentation. And I'm guessing you've been reading as well, but I might be wrong about it. Just don't do it. Like, we know. I mean, it's a little like, I know it's super tempting, but frankly, I've heard so many pitches like in this remote way that frankly, I can tell after 10 seconds that somebody was reading. And, you know, if you can't talk passionately about the project, like, how can I know that you can passionately develop in the future? That's something I'm a little bit concerned about. Like, if you can't talk like from memory, learn it by heart, then I'm a little bit confused about, you know, because I know you guys are super passionate about your project. So this is kind of my comment about the delivery, to be honest, because that's something that I definitely noticed. Okay, guys, if you have any more comments, alumni, I would love to invite you to the floor. And if you have some questions or some feedback for Anya, we have 5 more minutes left. Or Tal, if you would like to add anything. Remember to unmute yourselves as well, because I see most people are muted here. Okay, I see no hands in the chat. Nobody is talking. Okay, Anya, so I guess that's all from us, unless Tal, you would like to add anything?
I would like to say to Anya that I appreciate the effort, that I'm open if you want to discuss further. Again, although pioneers give you the best mentors they can, still they don't have me. So if you want my opinion,
that's true.
If you want my opinion, you can use it. But again, I'm saying to everyone, when you call me, please be very specific. No, I'm not the one who does the for life or death. I'm not deciding on your startup. I will answer professionally, professional question. You need to be a professional. When you call me, have a pen and paper ready, or you can record me. It's fine by me. Just tell me that you're recording. And that's it. Ask a short. Don't send me long emails. I don't read English. I don't need the emails. You can very briefly ask one line and call me. I will not be answering by text anyway. And Anya, for you, again, I think it's a good idea. I think it's still in the early stage of things, but from my side, I felt the passion. I think that you are going a right way, and I think in a very relevant time also, if I might add.
Okay, thank you for all the feedback. Can I also ask you a question?
You can ask Izabela questions.
Just wanted to make sure that you know, there is any more explanation needed on the problem. Because the problem that there is in the cities is that they pay much more when the garbage is not segregated properly than what they pay if the garbage is segregated properly. So this is just to make things clear.
I would think that Izabela wanted to ask you, is that problem relevant only in your country, or did you check with my country as well?
That's exactly what knowledge we don't have. And
see why
we would like
Izabela
to
said
see
you
how...
need to speak to me? That's the reason. You see, she knows. And by the way, I can trust me. The information is on the internet. You don't need to speak to anyone. And for that matter, yes, this is how you're taught probably. Act local, think global. Yes, it's all about being global. As big as Poland is, your market is definitely all over the world. I wouldn't say India, but I will say a large portion of the world, of Europe, is very, very relevant. So I would expect you to present also the potential in other countries. I would not expect you to tell me the world is huge, I know. But I would say, okay, Poland is where we start. And we are aiming, if you want to say Europe is good, but then select Germany, for instance, or France, and start there. And the only thing you need to learn is what's going on. Both countries, I think, of 70 million people that throw a lot of garbage. I would definitely look at France, UK, Germany as my next place to go, very near to you, same culture in some ways, you know, and very attentive to this problem. Again, this is why I did not say Africa or other places, okay, less attentive to the problem.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like in your pitch, the second part was the most relevant regarding Poland, but exactly that. Like Tal also mentioned that he was missing kind of the roadmap of what you're planning to do, and this kind of approach of some would be really useful if you think about it globally. Pick some countries, like kind of show us what's your way of thinking, not only about all the districts in Poland, but what's next or how you're going to approach like those small districts. That would be super useful. As well, like you would then explain us both the problem and the market that you have. That would be perfect, to be honest. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for all of the advice, and I will move on to the next speaker. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Anya.
Well
Andrzej,
done, Anya. Well done.
it would be great if you would show yourself, turn on the camera. We'd love to see your screen.
As well as I have a problem with internet connection. I see the message from the teams that I have a bad quality of my internet. So I launch camera during the QA session, okay?
Cool, perfect, that would be awesome. Okay, so Andrzej, the floor is yours, 3 minutes for you, and then questions and feedback.
Hello everyone, my name is Andrzej Zakręcki and I will present you our project, MediPrinting Company, which thanks to use of our medical devices improves of comfort of patients' lives and shortens the rehabilitation time after injuries. 19th century, paraffin lamp, Bell's phone, the era of photography began and the first plaster badges were made. Instead of the large telephone camera, to the ultra-fast smartphones offers not only ringing, but also replace cameras. And the gypsum plaster still accompanies us and we still use it for treat injuries. It's high time to change this. Number of fractures in the European Union is almost 3 million per year. In Poland, the figure is around 250,000. These figures are constantly increasing due to the aging of population, which involves as increased risk of fracture. Wearing traditional plaster is associated with numbers of problems such as difficult hygiene, which sometimes leads to skin necrosis, also circulation disorders. Too much height of hinders adhesion. And above all, the lack of possibility of quick removal makes early rehabilitation impossible. The market is estimated at $4 billion and is growing regularly. Currently, the patient spends about 2 hours in hospital with a broken arm. In order to solve the problem we have mentioned to you, we have created a set of medical devices. First, the fractured bones are positioned using our medical setter, which allows no operational adjustment of fractures we have had to be operated on until now. Then the accurate 3D scan is performed on a medical scanner. Based on the scan, the orthosis is adjusted to the patient. Our orthosis weighs less than traditional plaster. It's ideally suited to the hand and can be adjusted, which allows to maintain appropriate stiffness throughout on the entire treatment period and allows daily rehabilitation. To sum up, our solution can reduce of the patient time in hospital to 1 hour. Our competitors include producers of traditional and synthetic gypsum, as well as producers of classic and 3D printed orthoses. As you can see, what we distinguish our project from the competition is the ability of maintaining hygiene, also a light fitted structure with high stiffness and possibility to rehabilitation at the same time. The target client is a private ward as well as orthopedic clinic with high income patients. To introduce our solution to the market, we will implement a pilot program. Thanks to we will prove the correctness of our solution. Our team consists of Kamil, our CEO, who deals with the certification and sales. Me, I am responsible for the technical issues and I am project manager. Marcin is our medical specialist and deals with the product testing and prototyping. And Marcin Krzemiński is responsible for finance and business development. We establish cooperation with clinics and technology partners who help us create and test our functional prototypes of our solution. We tested our solution in 3 clinics, which confirmed that our solution improves the process of fracture treatment. In the following year, after obtaining funds, we plan to implement a pilot program and then certify our product to the medical market. After its introduction, the team plans to implement our solution in the European Union and prepare expansion in the USA. Today, we need contact to medical units and contacts to the potential distributors who can support us of selling our products. Thank you for your time and attention, and feel free to contact with me. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you, Andrzej. Tal, any questions?
I will say now age before beauty, so you can go first.
Sure. I'm wondering, Andrzej, who exactly would be paying for your solution? Would it be the clinic or the patient?
We want to implement a subscription model for the private clinic, and the private clinic would be the first customer. So they are the beneficient of our solution, but according to the our consultation with private clinic which we cooperate, they have some pricing for their patient, and they pay individually for each surgery, something like that. So I suppose that clinics will pay us, but they would take money from the patient.
Got it. And another question, because I'm actually not so sure about this bit. What about the legality of your solution as a medical device? I know in Poland it's pretty complicated, but it's pretty like the market that is quite difficult to enter. So how are you going to approach this?
First of all, when we want to implement our solution to the market, we need to register our devices in Polish Agency of the Medical Devices. And the second one, it depends on the class of the medical product, because we differentiate three different medical classes. Our solution is the first class that we only register in the medical device center, and as well as we need to implement iOS 13485 certification for our company as a standard of quality control of medical devices. As well as we have medical consultant in our team, and he is responsible for preparing documentation.
Okay, and where are you currently in the process? Like, have you started anything? Like, are you just, way ahead of it? Like, where are you in the whole process that you've just explained?
We have done MVP product, which was tested by our partners. So it was tested in 2 university clinics, which they implement new solution, as well as in one private clinic, and they validated our solution. It was checked by the head of the orthopedic departments. So they testing this solution. So right now we are waiting for decision about the next founding of our project, because our project is connected with the pilot program and medical experiment, which confirmed that our solution is safe for the patient and easy use for the doctors.
Got it. Okay, so back to Brain. Tal, would you like to take over?
Yeah, Andre, right?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, I wish that you could have done your presentation in the same manner you're speaking right now. You're speaking slow, very, very confident, very, very clear presentation. I felt that you are running and a lion is chasing you. You were running from something. And you need to understand, and I think Izabela said it before, it leaves us with a sense of something which is not fully, cooked enough. I mean, something that is a little bit premature is there is no reason, because now when I hear you and I see you, how confident and how in control you are, this is something that now you need to get into your head. Your next presentation will be exactly like you're speaking right now. Please promise me this is what you're gonna do.
Okay, mostly my colleague Marcin.
Yes. No.
No.
Now we're going to details not relevant. You need to say yes, Mr. Tal, done. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the best answer you can give.
I will be better next time.
You should be like you are now. Tell me, I will do the same, done. Second, you don't need to apologize to anyone. I don't even remember the second name that you said. Probably I will never meet him in my life, okay? So this is why who you is what I know. Now, second, I was trying to figure out, did you develop an MVP of a machine that prints out this cast? In the end, we're speaking about cast for injury, right?
Yes.
So what actually are you doing?
Could you repeat?
I'm asking, what is it that you do? What is your machine? The machine that does the casts? This is what you do?
No. This is something we create the workflow, how we can improve the fracture treatment system.
Yes.
First of all, we start from our medical center. This is the device which we can adjust broken arm.
Yes, please don't show the device again. Okay, it's like torture dungeons somewhere else. It's for, sadomaso. Don't show us this anymore. It's really scary. This animated thing you took out of SolidWorks. No need. It doesn't help in any way. So what you're saying is that I have, let's say, fractured my arm. Currently, if I fractured my arm, I go to hospital. They x-ray my hand, they find what they find, they put a cast. That's the process. Now, what you need to be with me. Are you with me right now? This is how you're going to present next time.
Yes.
Forget all the mumbo jumbo that you said. You need to say, okay, you have fractured your hand, you go to hospital, you wait the line, you do an x-ray, you wait again, come out with say to you have a fracture. What's next? You wait again. You go into a room. They put something that fixes your hand. Then they put the cast. All this takes a day. This is what you waste while in agony and pain, unless they inject something anti-pain or something. You're in the hospital where no one wants to be right now because of COVID, but still you need to go somewhere. And they put a cast on you that all your friends sign on and put their faces. And that's what we are still doing in 2021 almost. Now you say to them, does it? Okay, so then you go home with the cast. It's heavy. Now I think it's lighter. It scratches like hell. You can't go to bathe with this. Show us all the problems.
Yeah.
And then say, okay, now forget it. Introducing Andre, the smartest person on earth, that said no more. And then you go. And when you've done this, I'm in my head, I see it, because almost everyone here in the audience broke something in his life. If not him, his sister, his mother, we know how it feels. Now, when you got us into the situation emotionally, we are all waiting for the solution. We are eager to listen to you. Even Izabela is agreeing with me.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like when I saw the solution, my idea wasn't, oh, cool, I can wash it and it can be hygienic. It was like, oh, I can scratch my arm when I break it. And when I remember like all the times I broke my arm or leg, it's like, oh my God, it sounds like the worst bit about this whole thing, that you can't scratch yourself for like a few weeks, and that's perfect. And, you know, kind of like giving me this emotion that I actually this time kind of developed myself. It'll be perfect from the presentation. I would remember it much more. more, and probably it would be even a little bit funny, because like you would kind of show this big, actually quite serious medical issue through, you know, like a very personal problem of, you know, scratching your arm when, you know, it's kind of inconvenience from the point of view of a patient. And it's nothing big, but you actually remember it. So that's actually a really nice tip, Tal, I must say. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I would also add that starting with the quote, I have no idea what you were talking about during the slide with a quote from Keynes, because I was trying to read the quote and come up with how it's been solving like how it's connected to the pictures. And I have no idea what you were talking about, to be honest. So like you might skip it, because if I'm not listening to you, just reading your presentation, it's kind of like misses the whole point of you pitching, to be honest. So and Keynes, probably not the best idea to quote him, you know. There is nothing so big about him regarding the startup world, I guess, even though the quote was nice. So like try to keep my attention, because especially during like the remote pitching, but in general, it's kind of easy to lose it. And when you force me to look at the pictures, read the quote, listen to you, and you know, I also have a distraction of looking at myself and the MS Teams. It's kind of tricky, you know, to, you know, understand all the things that you are painting for me here.
Andre, so what interests me to know is that you mentioned in the presentation, I think that the number of injuries is growing. You show something scaling up. Was that the number of injuries happening?
We only found the general number of the injuries. Okay. According to the whole fractures, the hand fracture is about 60% of the each
number, the whole number of injuries. Yes, but you show a slide that shows something like this building upwards somewhere.